Yo, what is good, man? Welcome back to another video. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time for a recap, and this time we're talking about the major, of course. I know it's been a minute. It's been like 9 days since I've uploaded, but I just got back from the major about 5 days ago, and I was, pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. I had like a lot of headaches, heavy eyes, ears were like I don't know. I was having trouble hearing out of the ears and stuff like that. Yeah, I was just pretty sick. All right. And yeah, it was not fun. It was not fun. I'll say that for sure. But I'm excited to, kind of be back and doing a video again. It's been a minute. It feels kind of weird talking to a camera again, but I'm here and I'm ready. Let's get it. We're gonna be talking about the major, of course. We're gonna be talking about all the matches. And I'm gonna start off, how we went into it, how we felt into it, and talk about things that you guys may want to know and may do not know already. And try to answer some of your guys' questions. And if you guys, once again, I was like to say, if you guys have any questions, comments down below, feel free to, comment down below, and I'll try to answer everything as I can. Without further ado, man, let me stop yapping and let's get into the first game right here. We got us versus Genji in round one of the major. This is our first series of the major. To be honest, I don't really like the seeding because I wish we didn't have to play NA. We played NA like a ton, like out of our 5 or 6 matches, we played literally NA half of the matches. And yeah, I don't really like the seeding, but hopefully that can be changed soon or next season. But we'll see how that goes. But anyways, I'll start off. How we went to the going into the land. The day before the land, we were actually like going crazy and scrims like that are like not before the land, but before we flew. We were going crazy. I think we put SSG in like shop or something like that, or SSG in like ultimates, I think, and for complexity, one of those teams or 2 of those teams, and we were playing crazy. We felt really good, and we were feeling like more than confident heading into this major, because it's probably our best that we ever felt throughout the entire like split and throughout the entire season in general, because we've been going over individual stuff with our team, like like talking with Sathy and stuff like that, one-on-one sessions, and kind of talking about what we all need to do together, and it's kind of preparing and making us as best individually as we can possible, because and just making us all comfortable. We've been kind of putting the work in a lot, so we're feeling pretty good overall. And then we flew into the boot camp. We were gonna stay boot camping for about 4 to 5 days, but so some travel issues came. So Tomic and Sathu got there like on the days that they were supposed to get there, and then me and Dan had lots of trouble. So because I don't know if you guys heard about it, but the London Heathrow Airport had like an incident where like a huge power outage, and they had like a fire. It was pretty bad timing. And we were all flying to the London airport. Or not, me and Dan were flying to the London airport, and then so our flights got delayed, and then we were in the airport for like 4 hours, like just waiting for something to happen, and then we turns out it got canceled. So and then I tried to get us a new flight for the next day. So number one, Dan and them had to fly into the next day, and then yeah, since they flew in the next day, like they got there a day late, and it was like late at night too. They got, I think so. It was basically they had to stay a whole another day. They had to stay a whole another day in Atlanta, and then they flew late and then got late that day. So it really was like 2 days they had to stay there, honestly, because the whole second day was traveling. That was a good shot. I was saying, come on now. No, I'm kidding. But and then for us, I tried to get new flights, but I had 3 other people with me, which was my parents and my girlfriend. So it was kind of hard to get us all flights, because all the flights were kind of taken, because everyone had their flight canceled on London. Like a ton of people were flying to London, and then I had to get another flight, but it was like 2 days away. So we had to stay 2 days in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, in a hotel. And we stayed at 2 different hotels, because the hotel that we had on the first day, turns out that they didn't even have their license. That was a good play by them. Turns out they didn't even have their hotel license, and that there was police everywhere. So yeah, we had a pretty bad travel day. Like it was very bad. Like, and then so we ended up getting there very early very early morning on like the third day after we were supposed to be there. So I only had 2 days to adjust until we got to the major, and I mean it was pretty bad. Like the whole travel day was pretty bad, and then we had like a 2-hour drive because traffic and all that kind of crap. And yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. So I just wanted to kind of start out. That was a great shot by Atomic, but I just wanted to start off, clarifying that because it was bad. But anyways, when we got to the major, because after all that traveling, our scrims started to look, okay. It was nothing. It was nothing like how it was before we left. But it was solid, and we just had to get back into the groove a bit, and we did. It wasn't bad at all, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like we just kind of kept, trying to focus on ourselves because, like after everything that happened, and then like I said, scrimmage was looking solid. Then we had our first match on Thursday, I believe, which was against Genji right here. I'll probably talk about them in the next game too, because we only have 30 seconds here. But honestly, I felt insane the first day. I felt really confident. I felt really good. And then, like I said, I felt really good. The whole team felt really good. I felt like I was playing probably my best day on Thursday. And then we ended up beating Genji 3-1. They're honestly playing really good. They honestly surprised me with how they were playing. I honestly thought they were going to make top 8 this tournament because they look like a really good team overall. But we feel confident against this team because like we played them so much online, and we just know that we're the better, kind of better team overall, like skill wise. No hate to them, but I feel like we're better than them. But I'm gonna switch to the next game really quick. Let me do that really quick. All right, so this is against Ultimates, but I'm gonna talk about the Genji match really quick again. We were feeling pretty confident against them, so we ended up 3-1 in them, and then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for that match. So moving on, we had a little bit of a break, and then we played Ultimates again. Like I said, I don't really like the seeding because we played all NA teams. I don't know if that's from the seeding or if that's from something, but I don't think it should be that way. We come to a land to play other teams, international teams, to see who's the best international teams overall. But anyways, we played this team. We were feeling very, very confident because we were at the time we were 3-1 against them, or 4-1 against them overall in series. So we knew that we were the better team, and we knew that that was a crazy goal too. Actually, on this goal right here, I thought it was in. So I went to go fist bump, and you guys can see me like stop moving right here. I just moved straight, and then I actually still scored the goal, even though my hands were completely off the controller. We all laughed about that. But yeah, this series was pretty close. I think all games were relatively close. I think this might be the game that was actually, I think we beat them by a couple goals. I might be wrong, but they're a good team. I don't think they were playing as hot as they were in the front of the crowd. I think that, like I said, I think I was feeling really good this day still. And honestly, we were honestly like, this day felt pretty easy. And after this day, we felt pretty confident because we ended up beating these guys in a 3-1 fashion too. And after the series, we were like, yeah, I mean, it feels really good right now. It feels pretty easy. We're all very confident. So, but I don't know, at the end of the day, we were playing against NA teams, so I think we were very confident in general, and it felt easy because I think we played them a ton before. So I don't know if it was the best practice because we weren't practicing against other major teams, and it's not really kind of preparing us because we're kind of just playing the same competition that we do at home. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all, and we felt pretty good, and we ended up 3-1 in them, and that's pretty much all the series. Like I said, they weren't playing the greatest, but they were playing solid. But you could definitely tell that they needed to figure stuff out before the crowd day came, and then they definitely figured it out because they made the finals. So that's spoiler alert, but you guys probably already know that. But yeah, and then after that, we obviously kind of just chilled. Went to go get something to eat, and then played some ranked, played some I think we had another scrim, I think, but no, we didn't have another scrim. We just played some ranked and then went to go eat, and then called it a day there because we played late at these times. We played late at the Europe time, so they can actually watch it. But and then we were still super jet lagged, especially me and Dan, because I mean I was getting tired. Like I was tired this last series, honestly. I was a little tired, but my adrenaline obviously kicked in, and it was you know, whenever we have matches, it's always gonna kick in. And I'll talk about that later actually, because then I had some trouble with that in the later matches, and I'll tell you why. But and that was it for our first day on LAN. Thursday we went 2-0. We were feeling really confident. And then yeah, and then we ended up watching the other games, and then we thought we were gonna play Falcons. We thought we were gonna play Falcons to go 3-0, but we ended up playing Vitality. And we are very confident in this match, but we know this is the team that will counter our playstyle because of how defensive they are, and that's just the way it is. Vitality just play a certain way to make you like make mistakes, and then they just counterattack off of it, and that's just how they have always played. And it's just it's so annoying because we've been through this so much, like the monkey moon effect. Like, literally his playstyle with his teams are just always the same no matter what team he's on. Yeah, it's just very funny. That was a good faking shot right there. But we did end up losing 3-1 to that team. We were not upset, but we were very annoyed with that series because we're just tired of losing to a team like that, and to like to the defensive teams and like that Vitality roster. I'm just gonna say we're tired of losing to that team because it's basically the same team which just was in. But we were like, after this we were like kind of like really like focusing on replays, because those defensive teams really do, we feel like we have the series under control the entire time, but then they just get away with the win because if they counterattack us, then they counterattack us, and it's just like it's really hard to stop that because they just make us make mistakes. So we were just very annoyed with that, and we were looking at replays a lot. And as time went on, I said we were overthinking it, and I'll get into that like later during the video. But we were kind of overthinking it a lot, I feel like, and kind of just like focusing on other teams rather than ourselves. Anyways, yeah, I'll get later into that. But after that, we ended up playing Geekay, which I'll actually get into a minute because we only have 7 seconds left. I'll actually get to that right now. We actually win this game. I'm trying to drop it right here, and then yeah, I almost kept it up, but gotta drop right there. All right, let's get into the next game. Let's do it. All right, so we got us versus Geekay, and this is what I was just about to get into. But yeah, after we lost against Vitality, we were just trying to look at replays, and you know, just we were looking at replays a lot, especially Atomic and Sathu. Me and Dan were kind of just like practicing in replay because I don't think we felt that great that match, especially you know, just the way they just make us make mistakes. So when they make us make mistakes, we're not gonna feel as confident. I don't know. They just literally just the way Vitality play. It's just like it's great. It's great. It really is. But, like for them, but it's it can be frustrating with like especially our playstyle. But if we just stop, like, obviously it's easier said than done. If we just stop our mistakes and, you know, not try to overcommit and just realize what they're doing earlier, it can be a good series, and we can definitely win it. Not easily, but because every match is gonna be, you know, difficult, of course. But I'll say easily we definitely can win it, you know, in a good fashion for sure. But after that, we just put that to a side and kind of just focus on our next series, which was Geekay. This is a weird series. I don't really know what to expect because, funny story, they were at our boot camp, and we've heard them like multiple times say like we're just playing like not for fun, but we are just like kind of just like whatever happens. So my mentality is like, this might be a tough series, but it might not be because they don't have really like a system. But if they could actually just peak on us because they literally just don't care what what happens, win or lose, like whatever happens, they just don't care. They're just happy to be here, which I actually respect that a lot, because it's a good mentality to have. Whatever happens. But like I said, it was a weird series, very scrappy, very just everywhere. Kind of hard to read them because like I said, they don't really have a system. They just kind of solo play, whatever, like just going, no system at all. So it was very weird. Even though we won, it didn't really feel satisfying. I don't know. It's kind of a weird feeling. Oh, obviously, it really felt really good to get to the playoffs, and really good to get the win, because they're not a bad team at all. Yeah, it was a weird series. It didn't even feel like it happened, and I don't know. It was a weird series for sure. But we ended up 3-1 in them. I think it was a 3-1. Some games are close, but some games are not. Like you see right here, we have. Oh, I paused the game on accident. Like we have 7 shots, and they're on defense. Like we were honestly in pressure and in control for like all of the series. Like they were playing. I remember Sathu saying that's some of the craziest pressure that he's seen ever. So we were in a lot of pressure here, but yeah, I mean, it was a good series, good win. And then after that, we made the playoffs, which since we finished 3-1 because we lost to Vitality and won 3 games against Geekay, Ultimates, and Genji. We finished 3-1, and then we made top 6 still, because I think we were the 3rd seed, because of how good our game differential is, because I think we won 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, and then lost 3-1. So it was a pretty solid game differential. And yeah, then that means we made top 6, and then we were trying to figure out who we were gonna play, and then we ended up finding out that we had Carmine, which I was so like happy and excited about this match, because obviously they're the best team. We want to beat them. Plus, if we win, we get top 4 guaranteed, and we would have played like the winner of Vitality and Furia, because Genji, our Ultimates, actually ended up beating Vitality, which I wasn't expecting that at all. Which is, if you guys watched that was a crazy series. But yeah, we ended up kind of prepping for that. But after the day. Actually, no, that wasn't after that day. But we ended up prepping for that. We were watching replays, like I said, because that Vitality series made us like watch replays more and more and more, and kind of realizing what happened. So going to the next day on the Carmine's match, we were the last match, so we had a super long day, which I honestly don't really like. I like to play first. No, I used to like not care, and I used to like to play last. Because it gives you more preparation, but honestly I like playing first, or just like playing in the middle, because you really just like, when you're watching all these other teams, it makes you just want to play and just kind of get in there and get ready for the match. So yeah, it was a long day. We were like up for like 8-9 hours before we even played. So, and this is the day where I started feeling like, well, yesterday when we played GK was the day when I started feeling like very like sick, and like my eyes are feeling like super heavy, like very, very heavy, and I started getting like headaches, and when I woke up, my whole body just felt like sore. I think it was from walking around a lot, honestly, because we had to walk around a lot. But let me get to the next game, and I'll talk about it more. All right, here is the game from Carmine Corp in our series. But yeah, like I was talking about, I was feeling like not super sick, of course, but it was enough to kind of make an effect on me, and it wasn't fun at all. And I felt my energy just wasn't there because of that. Like I truly just didn't have much energy, or as much energy as I wanted, and it sucked. It really did. And it was very annoying. It would make me like more agitated because of how I felt, and I just hate feeling that way when you gotta have a lot of energy. And I wanted to have a lot of energy, but it was tough to. I'm not gonna use that as an excuse on why we lost or anything like that, but it just definitely was annoying. But that's just what it is, and sometimes you gotta deal with it. But anyways, going to this match, we were very, very confident. We were very, very excited for this one. Honestly, the first four games, Sathu talked about this with us. We were kind of in control for the entire series. And then games 5 and 6, we let go a bit. And I'll tell you guys about an incident that was very funny. In this series, because this series was, something happened at the end that you guys probably do not know about, and that was very unfortunate. That was a funny bump right there. But like I said, the first 4 games we had it under control. We were up 2-1, and I think we got a bit antsy. I think we got a bit like after we lost this, after we lost the 4th game and then the 5th game, because then we were down 3-2 or like 2-2 and 3-2. I think we got a little bit desperate because things weren't going our way, and it was kind of unfortunate. And when you get desperate, it allows you to make more mistakes and just do things that you normally wouldn't do. And then the thing that happened was, so in game 6, we scored, right? And then Vatira had I think Vatira had a mistouch, and then we scored off his mistouch, right? And then so when I went to go fist bump both of my teammates, I stepped on my wire. And then my controller was like this, but since I stepped on my wire, it flipped over because like I stepped on my wire and then I pulled myself back, and then I felt my controller like almost fall, and then I stopped it, but I didn't realize until my teammates started laughing. They literally started laughing. I was like, "Wow, what's up?" And I looked top left, and it literally spammed great pass. I spammed great pass 3 times, and that was probably the worst quick chat I could use in that situation. And so I typed an accident after that, because I didn't mean that at all. I would never mean that, honestly. I don't ever mean to be toxic at all, and that's not who I am. But I typed an accident, and then when we got scored on, you guys can guess it, they start doing it back. And honestly, it was a bit tilting. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit tilting. I seen a towel stand up, start talking trash. It was very, very annoying, and oh man, it was probably the most annoying thing that could have happened, because I mean, I think they probably thought I actually meant it, and like when I said accident, they probably thought I was like, oh my bad, accident, like talking about like I actually didn't mean, or I actually meant it, but I truly did not mean it. And it was very unfortunate that it happened, because I probably led us into playing more like annoyed into that last game. But everything happens for a reason, and they know now though, because I think we reached out to them and let them know that, you know, it was an accident, none of us meant it. But it was very stupid, man, and I wish it didn't happen. But it's alright. And they played good. They played good. They were playing solid, and we definitely, I feel like we could have took the series though, but you know, they played good, and no hate to them. They definitely deserved that win. But I'm more fueled than ever against them. I'm excited. I'm ready to play them again. I hope to play them again at this next major and at Worlds. And yeah, I'm ready. They're kind of our rivalry. It's kind of nice because last season we didn't have a rivalry. I can't say that word. We didn't have anyone like that because BDS didn't really play that great until Esports World Cup and then the Worlds. They didn't really play too crazy. And then Vitality was on and off. And then Carmine had their problems because they didn't make a major, which was actually crazy to think about. They didn't make a major, which I forgot about. So it's really good to have a team that we want to win against, and really that is going to fuel us and be, you know, ready for. Because I feel like that's something that we never. That's something that we never had and that we've been missing. Obviously we've had our teams in NA, but you know, now we have our team internationally, and that's who we want to beat, and that's who we want to be. We want to be the best. So right now, obviously the best, they won. So props to them, and you know, we're gonna come for the trophy, and we're gonna try our best. So I'm ready, man. We're all ready. Lots to work on. We already had a team talk when we came back, and it's exciting. It's very, very exciting. So look at save. And yeah, this is one of the games that we won 2-0. But we ended up losing this series 4-0. And obviously it wasn't well, we won it, but everything happens for a reason. And yeah, actually I'm gonna play one more series, which is the grand finals, and I'll talk about our last series, and then I'll talk about the grand finals. Without further ado, let's get it. Alright, so I'm gonna watch Drolly here, the MVP. I'm gonna watch him here and kind of I forgot to download a replay of us versus Ultimates. Plus, I already played them in the Swiss, so I kind of just wanted to watch the finals instead with you guys. But in our Ultimate series, in our Falcon series, because we ended up playing Falcons after I'll talk about both of them. In our Falcon series, it was very scrappy. They weren't playing to the level that we're used to them playing. I think they weren't playing to the level that they weren't used to playing throughout the entire tournament. And throughout the entire like last season. Like last season, they were completely different than what they were this tournament. So we could definitely tell that. So we were feeling confident as the games went on. To be honest, I don't think it should have went to Game 7, but it did, and we kind of were beating ourselves. Honestly, we let in a lot of stupid goals, especially myself. I let like a 1 or 2, and I think the other guys like let in 1 or 2 goals as well that we shouldn't have let in, and that kept the series pretty close. And it's very nerve-wracking because you don't want to travel all the way to Europe and go out and not be able to play in front of the crowd that much. That's something that would be annoying and sting a little bit. So once we got that out, once we got that win, it was a good feeling, and kind of just happy to keep moving forward and not lose that. But we just go to a lot of Game 7s every single LAN. It's very annoying. But yeah, that series was just a bit scrappy, and from both teams, not just them, but from us for sure. And yeah, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, but we got the dub, and that's what happens sometimes. And it's a good feeling because when you're not feeling your best and you still get a win against a good team, that's unlucky, but it makes you more confident throughout the entire tournament and yourselves. So, and then we played ultimates for the grand finals, and in this series, oh man, this one stings. Number one, we don't want to lose to this team on LAN, especially. This is our NA competition. This is who we want to beat every time in NA. So, we were 4-1 or 5-1 against them in series, and so we were feeling pretty confident. But like I said, it was another case of us just beating ourselves. And they were playing much better than they were on Swiss, and like they were playing much more clean and much more individually better from all of them. So I gotta respect that. But this series could have easily been us. I feel like I could have hit a couple of shots at the end that I wish I did. I'm sure you guys seen the shots. One was like under LJ, and I know I could have hit that one, but that was the first time that I ever truly felt like, I don't know, my heart literally dropped. Like I never really felt that feeling before, and it only makes you more hungrier though, and it only makes you more, only makes you want it more. I'm more motivated than I've ever been in my entire career. Like I want it really bad. The team and I are gonna put as much work as we could. I'm excited for sure. We ended up losing in Game 7. Had some mistakes. It wasn't a clean series, but it happens. And then, honestly, no hate to ultimates, but I had a feeling that Carmine was gonna win, because of how they were playing and how I think ultimates celebrated a lot after they beat us, and which is good. It's okay. It's completely okay to celebrate, but I think you got to lock in for next series, and I don't think you can celebrate too much because job's not finished. And so I think that's something that they had trouble with, and that's something that kind of led into the series, and I don't think they were as confident. I think Chronic said that he wasn't as confident as he should have been in that last series too, at all. So kind of a mixture of all those things, and why I think the finals went the way it did. And Carmine was just on a different level, of course. They were playing, really, really good. And yeah, that's just how it went. But I'm going to pause it right there because I've been yapping for 29 minutes. I don't really have much else to say. I feel like I've said a lot. I might have repeated a lot of things, but it's kind of hard to not do that. So, but yeah, man, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions and anything like that. Once again, bro, it was a scrappy LAN overall. It wasn't the best LAN, but we finished top 4 still. Like that is our floor, and which is crazy to even say. Like a top 4 in the world is our floor. We're feeling more confident than ever, so I'm excited. I'm excited for this next split. We're more hungry than ever. We want to go for this. We want to go for the perfect split. And yeah, let's get it. As always, God bless you guys. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your day, good rest of your night, and peace out.